Vanakkam. In the previous sessions, we discussed the parameters in MRP1, MRP2, and MRP3 views and created the views for the business case materials. As the next step, we must create the MRP4 view. In this session, we will discuss the various parameters in MRP4 view and create the view for the business case material. So before going to the session, let us see the answers for the quiz we discussed in the last session. Which are the strategy groups used for make to stock? 10, 11, 30, 40, 52, and 63. Which are the strategy groups used for procure to stock? Please note, procure to stock or make to stock are the same. Make to stock means it is produced. Procure to stock means it is purchased. It's only the different name. So the same strategies 10, 11, 40, 52, 63 apply to procure to stock also. What is the difference between strategies 10 and 11? Strategy 11 will consider strategy 10 will consider available inventory while planning. The demand will be consumed while invoicing. Strategy 11 will not consider the inventory while planning, and also the demand will be consumed once the production and goods receipt is done against the plan. What is the significance of strategy 40? Until the demand is consumed, it acts as MTS. Once the demand is consumed, it will act as MTO. So it is like a mix of MTS and MTO. It is useful in most of the scenarios in many organizations. Which strategy was discussed in the session for MTO or ETO? That is the last session. It was strategy 20. Should you need a plan for ETO, MTO items? No. Planning will be done based on the sales order. What is the replenishment lead time for externally procured items? It is the addition of planned delivery lead time and GR processing time. Period indicator and forecast requirement is used for what purpose? The forecast requirements for period indicator is the time bucket to record the consumption details for forecast working. It is suggested to use the weekly indicator to capture the fluctuations in consumption to get more relevant forecast. What are the different types of consumption modes? Consumption mode. One, backward consumption means when the plan is consumed, they will consume from the past weeks. Second, that is two, backward and forward. That is the first, the plan will be consumed in the past and then it will be consumed in the future. Three is the forward consumption. This means the plan will be consumed in the future. And four, forward and backward means the first plan will be consumed in the future and then it will go to the past. In general, organizations use the consumption mode 2, that is first backward and then forward. Consumption of PIR will happen only if the consumption mode is maintained. True or false? False. Even if the consumption mode or period are not maintained, system will consume the plan in the backward mode only, like 1, that consumption mode we discussed now 1, and for a period of 999 days, that is 999 days. Availability check is done for materials only. True or false? It is also false because availability check is done for materials, capacity, and production resource tools (PRT). What is the advantage of assemble to order model? The advantages are it leads to less lead time to the customer. The variations can be accommodated as the final assembly is done only after the order is received. Inventory is less and also the stock obsolescence is reduced. These are the advantages of the assemble to order model. Okay, we continue the course with a discussion on MRP4 view parameters. So far, we created basic data 1 and basic data 2 views that are organization independent. And then we created the purchasing view, which is plant specific. After this, we created MRP1, 2, and 3, which are plant specific and storage location specific. Now we will discuss MRP4 view, which is a plant specific and storage location specific. More care must be taken to maintain the parameters in MRP views as they directly affect the inventory and the customer service. There are 4 MRP views in Material Master. They are plant specific and storage location specific. MRP1 covers planning parameters. MRP2 covers procurement and manufacturing, and the planning integrated details. MRP3 view covers planning strategy, that is operating model, availability check, and product configuration details specific to plant, etc. All these three we discussed so far. MRP4 will cover the manufacturing related parameters like BoM explosion, discontinuation status, repetitive manufacturing, etc. We continue the discussion with MRP4 view parameters. MRP4 View contains BoM explosion, discontinued parts, and repetitive manufacturing related parameters including individual collective requirements for the requirement consolidation, component scrap details, production version details, follow-up materials with the date, etc. So MRP4 View has the following sections. The first is BoM explosion dependent requirement, discontinued parts details, repetitive manufacturing, assembly, and deployment strategy details. In our course, we will not focus on repetitive manufacturing, so we will not discuss those parameters in detail. So first, let us see that individual and collective requirements. So when dependent metals are planned through MRP, whether we have to get the requirements either individually or for collectively. For example, when you have these specific special order stocks, special orders, or project orders, they are dependent requirements, whether we want to get them individually with respect to each requirement or we want to get them collectively. That is why this field is used. When we use the parameter 1 in this field, then it will plan it individually for each special orders. The dependent requirement also will be planned individually. When you use the parameter 2, then system will use it will collect the requirements and give us one proposal. When you leave it as blank, system will take the individual and collective requirements depending on the strategy what we are using for the individual materials and also the parent products. So this will be very useful when we want to have the requirements either individually for each material so that we have got more clarity, or no, we don't want to have these things individual materials, we want to see them collectively because we don't want to create many proposals. So this value can be used in this parameter. And then component scrap. Why do you use this component scrap? You know that in manufacturing process, when you are processing some components, there may be scrap. By design, it will be there. For example, there is a big assembly. When they are using many nuts and bolts, the fasteners, when you are tightening them, there may be a lot of damages. So in this course, if they are using 50 or 60 bolts in this machine, 2-3 may get damaged. Similarly, when you are packing some bulk powder or bulk liquid, the exact measurement it will be difficult. For example, if the measurement is 100 ml, it may be 101 ml, or if it is 100 grams, it may be not 1 gram. So when we do MRP planning, we need to give an information to the system that this is what is going to happen. There will be little bit higher material will be consumed for this, and then we can give this in this component scrap like percentage. So when we give this percentage as like for example 5%, so when the requirement is 100, system will place 105. It will plan the material 105. So we don't miss out the material when some scrap is happening, right? And this can be used in this scrap percentage can be maintained in the bill of material also, because the amount what is scrap, it may vary for the individual products also at times. For example, when you are producing product A, in that the component may be scrapped at 5 pieces per 100. But when you are producing the product B, the same component may be wasted only 2. So at that time, we can use the bill of material to define this scrap. So there is a possibility to use this, define this parameter in bill of material also. But when it is common for all the products, these components are scrapped in all the products in the same way, we can use this in Metal Master. And then we talk about production version. So we discussed this in the overview of master data for PP. Just I am refreshing here. So production version is the way the product is getting produced. It is a combination of routing and bill of material. And production version is mandatory in S4 HANA. All subcontracting and also for all in-house production, it is mandatory. When you have this production version, this one combination of routing one, BOM on one metal one is shown here. If a metal, this metal can be produced with a small alteration in the BOM, which is BOM2, then production version 2 will be generated. And if there is a small change in the routing itself, maybe instead of having a machine, we are doing some manual packing or something like that, and the bill of material also we are using bill of material 2, then production version 3 also can be used. When production version is created, how do you know? When production version is created, we can see this from Metal Master itself in MRP4 view. The version indicator will show whether the version is created or not. It will show the tick mark there. And by clicking the production version button, we can go into the production version itself. We can see the details. We'll see whether it is valid or not, and whether it is having which is validity date. All these things we can see. We'll discuss in detail about production version when we go for the master data discussion, like bill of material, production version. At that time, we'll discuss about it. After clicking the production version, the button we saw in the previous page, now we are on the production version page. So here it is showing the details like the routing grouping number is shown, group counter is shown, and also the check status. You see here it is showing in green. Similarly, the BoM is also that alternate BoM usage, and also the status is green. So how this green has come, all those things we'll discuss when you're discussing our production version later. Just here I am highlighting how the production version details will be shown from the material master. This means this material is having proper production version. And then another thing is discontinued parts. Why do we use this? See, there are a lot of changes which are undergoing for products depending on customer expectations or technology change, or there may be some new feature to be added, some feature have to be removed like that. In that case, we'll keep the bill of metal as it is, but only one or two metals may be changed. So one metal will be discontinued, another metal will be added. In this case, we don't need to create a new bill of material. If you are going to replace one component A with component B, we can use this discontinued parts function. So in this field, no, where it is showing as a discontinued indicator means the metal where we are, that metal is getting discontinued. And the effective out date is that from which date it is getting discontinued. Also we can mention here what is the follow-up material. So here everything we can cover it. So when this metal is replaced everywhere, no, defining this in Metal Master itself is sufficient. But if this metal is getting replaced in some specific bill of metal only, not in all the materials, means this can be managed in bill of metal also. This also we will discuss when we are discussing the bill of metal in detail. Now we will see the creation of MRP4 view. Let us take an example of a material so that we create from the beginning. So the transaction MM01. For the reference purpose, I will open another material from the training, that is SGMC training IP1001. It is an in-house production item. IP1001 I will take it because already I created this material with the production version details and all. Now I am selecting MRP4 and I keep this page as the reference here, starting from basic data. I am going to create the new material with the SGMC-S001-IP1001. So this is a new material we are creating, that IP1001 for the participant code S001. What is the material type? The material type is semi-finished good. So now let us confirm whether the material type is semi-finished good. So how to see that? Go to the information icon of the training material. See here material type is HILB semi-finished good. Now let us close this and go back to the metal creation. So we ensure that metal type is HILB semi-finished good. So press enter. So we have the views up to MRP3 because these were the default views till last session. So we select MRP4, put as the default setting, then enter, we go inside. We have the plant and store location, let us proceed. Because this metal is a new thing which we are going to create now, we have to create from the beginning. So let us have the reference from this training metal. So we have this description, that also let us copy and paste it here. Only thing is, instead of training, we have to put that S001 as a reference. It is to identify the description itself, what is there. Then we fill the unit of measure, and also we'll update the metal group. Metal group we are using whatever it is starting with the L. Here L003 is a semi-finished good. So let us fill it. And then we'll fill the dimension details like a weight. So here the weight is showing 40, 30, and also unit of measurement is kg, gross weight and net weight. So gross weight is 40, net weight is 30, and unit of weight is 30 kgs. So these are the details which you are getting here. So after entering these details, press enter. So system will take us to the next view. Next view is the basic to view. As of now we are not using any detail. Then purchasing view. In purchasing, what are the details in the TRNG material? Let us go and see that. So here we have the purchasing group. Metal group is from basic view. Then purchasing value key. So let us update the purchasing group 001 and also the purchasing value key 1 here. So let us fill the details. Enter. See, now when you enter the purchasing value key, always system will give a warning message as shown here. Please ensure. So let us proceed with this. Now purchasing order text, we are not entering anything. So we go to the MRP1. So let us go and refer the TRNG metal for MRP1 details. So here we have the MRP type, MRP controller, lot sizing details. So let us copy them and put it here. MRP type is M0 we are selecting. So whenever you go through this, press F4 and see various possible things so that you'll be getting good idea. S02 is for a semi-finished good. So we'll take it. And the lot sizing is that was EX. That also let us select it here. Go and put F4 and see this is the EX. EX means what? It is lot for lot. So we select EX. And then after filling this, enter, it is taken to the MRP2 view. Here it is showing us both procurement, planning and production, but we want to put it as E, in-house production. See, mostly please try to put here either as E or F. Don't put this X normally. Okay, so we put E there. And then production store location is 171A. We fill the backflash also. Let us fill those details. 171A backflash we put as a 1, which means that is taken from the metal master. If you want to see, you put F4 and see the details. And then the in-house production time 2 days and a good receipt processing time 1 day. Those details let us fill. And here, okay, I forgot to fill the schedule margin key. Who is a S001? Please fill the schedule margin key also accordingly. Okay. Then we go to MRP3. Here we have the period indicator W, but as a default, the period indicator has come as M. So let us go and change that period indicator as W here. Okay. And then we have to put the strategy group, that is 40. On a consumption mode, we put 2, and the backward consumption 15 days, forward consumption 30 days. Availability check is already coming from there, the configuration. And then we go to MRP4. In the training material, in MRP4, you can see the production version box is checked and a component scrap is not filled. So now production version, if you click on this, right, system will take us to the production version page. So here there is one production version, select that line, then you press the details. System will show the production version details. There is a routing details, there is a BoM detail. These things are green also in status. So now let me close this. So there is a production version here, right? But in case of the metal what we are creating now, we are just creating the metal master only. If you want a production version, what do we need? We need a BoM and routing. Those things will create later only. So that box is not checked here. Production version indicator is not checked. So well, that's it. Now we just enter and save it, because until MRP4 we came here, we save it. So we created the material S001 IP1001, that is created. So this is how we created the metal from the beginning for this S001 TRNG. Sorry, S001 IP1001 we created from the beginning. You please create for all the business materials until MRP4 all the details. So in this session, we discussed individual and collective requirements, component scrap, production version, and discontinued parts. We have not discussed about repetitive manufacturing related parameters here, because here in this course we are focusing on discrete manufacturing. We will just brief about repetitive manufacturing after completing the contents of this course, maybe later. So let us refresh our understanding for this course in this session. What is the difference between component scrap in MRP4 view and assembly scrap percentage in MRP1 view? Hope you remember the scrap we maintained in MRP1 view. Which are the master data linked in the production version for procurement? Material X will be replaced with material Y from a specific date. How to manage it? If a material must be discontinued in one specific parent product but not in all parent products, how to manage it? So these are the quiz questions. We will discuss the answers in the next session. So the assignment for the current session is, please create the MRP4 view for all the material for the business case. This means please complete the Metal Master up to MRP4 view for all business case materials, and always refer the TRNG materials to create the materials so that you can compare the results when you are practicing the processes later. After understanding various parameters in the MRP views, we will discuss the parameters in the work scheduling view in the next session. Meanwhile, create all the views until MRP4 for the materials we discussed in the business case. Whatever the clarifications you need, please put them in the comment section of the session what we are discussing. They will be answered then and there. Please suggest your friends and colleagues to subscribe to the channel so that they also get the benefit from this knowledge sharing course. Meanwhile, if you want to practice the course contents along with me, you can hire a dedicated server. If you need the details, drop me an email given here, info@vgrovin.com. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.